Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com.
15 questions you should know. So, let's start. מאיפה אתה? Where are you from? מאיפה אתה? Where are you from? And if you want to ask a female, it's מאיפה את? אני מתל אביב. I am from תל אביב. בן כמה אתה? How old are you? בן כמה אתה? How old are you? For a female, it would be בת כמה את? I'm not gonna answer that one. מה שמך? What's your name? מה שמך? What is your name? For a female, מה שמך? A more common way of asking that would be איך קוראים לך? Or for a female, איך קוראים לך? Which literally mean how are you called? מה שלומך? How are you? מה שלומך? Or מה שלומך for a woman, and this is how are you? How do you feel? מה זה? What's this? מה זה? What is this? מה זה? Some people use it as what? Like, what did you say? מה זה? But most of the times it's used when you want to know what a thing is. Excuse me? מה זה? מה אמרת? What did you say? מה אמרת? What did you say? And for a female, מה אמרת? לא אמרתי כלום. I didn't say anything. איפה אתה עובד? Where do you work? איפה אתה עובד? Where do you work? And for a female, איפה את עובדת? איפה השירותים? Where is the bathroom? Memorize this one. איפה השירותים? Where is the bathroom? Excuse me. איפה השירותים? איפה אתה גר? Where do you live? איפה אתה גר? Where do you live? Or for a female, איפה את גרה? מתי יום ההולדת שלך? When is your birthday? מתי יום ההולדת שלך? When is your birthday? For a female, מתי יום ההולדת שלך? כמה זמן אתה לומד עברית? How long have you been studying Hebrew? כמה זמן אתה לומד עברית? How long have you been studying Hebrew? For a female, כמה זמן את לומדת עברית? איפה למדת עברית? Where did you learn Hebrew? איפה למדת עברית? Where did you study Hebrew? Or for a female, איפה למדת עברית? That's an easy question. HebrewPod101.com. היית בישראל? Have you been to Israel? היית בישראל? Have you been to Israel? For a female, היית בישראל? Well, have you? אתה אוהב אוכל ישראלי? Do you like Israeli food? אתה אוהב אוכל ישראלי? Do you like Israeli food? And for a female, את אוהבת אוכל ישראלי? איפה אתה רוצה לבקר? Where do you want to visit? איפה אתה רוצה לבקר? Where do you want to visit? Or for a female, איפה את רוצה לבקר? Top Hebrew phrases. These are very useful phrases you're going to hear a lot when you come to Israel, so make sure to memorize them. Okay, let's start. Shalom. Hello. Shalom literally means peace, but we use it also as a greeting. Shalom. מה נשמע? How are you? That's a very casual way of asking how are you, and it literally means what is heard. Like, yeah, like what have you been up to? What's going on with you? מה נשמע? תודה. Thanks. And probably the only way to say it, we don't have like thanks or thank you, it's just תודה. בבקשה. Please. בבקשה, it means please, but it can also mean there you go. So you can say, אפשר לקבל מים בבקשה? Can I have water, please? And when you give someone water, you can also say, בבקשה. There you go. סליחה. Excuse me. It means excuse me or sorry. So when you like push through people in the bus, you can go, slicha, slicha, slicha. But when you step on someone on the bus, you can also say, oi, slicha, I'm sorry. Lehitraot, see you. It literally means to see each other again. So it's like, to see each other again. Lehitraot. It's also very casual. Beseder. Okay. This is a very, very useful word. You can say it when someone asks you, how are you? Beseder. You can say it to show you understand something. When someone gives you direction, you're like, beseder. It literally means in order, like everything's in order. Tov, fine. Most of the time it means fine. Literally it means good, a lot like beseder. How are you? Tov, to respond to a direction, like go that way, please. Tov, fine, I understand. Al lo davar, you're welcome. We use it as you're welcome, and it literally means, oh, for nothing. Thank you. Oh, al lo davar, it was nothing. It's maybe a bit more formal than bevakasha. Most of the times when people say toda, you answer bevakasha. You can also answer al lo davar. It's pretty much the same, though bevakasha is a bit more common. Boker tov, good morning. Boker tov, which literally means good morning, and you obviously use it in the morning. Boker tov, laila tov, good night. So yeah, good night you can say when you leave a party at night, you can say, okay, bye, good night, laila tov. Tzohoraim tovim, good afternoon. Tzohoraim tovim, good afternoon. You can definitely say that, but you don't hear it that often. It literally means good noon. Ma shimcha, what's your name? For a male, it would be ma shimcha. For a female, ma shmech, what is your name? You can also ask, איך קוראים לך? Which literally means how are you called? And this is the most common way to ask. Naim lehakir, nice to meet you. Literally, I guess it would mean pleasant. It is pleasant to meet you. And you can say naim להכיר אותך for a woman, or naim להכיר אותך for a man. איפה, where? איפה התחנה, where is the station? איפה is very important, you should memorize this one. אני מבין, I see. For a woman it would be אני מבינה. I understand, I see. אני מבינה. מה השעה? What time is it? The literal translation would be, what is the hour? This is how you ask. סליחה, מה השעה? Excuse me, what time is it? אפשר בבקשה לקבל? Can I please have? אפשר בבקשה לקבל מים? Can I please have some water? And this would be the same for a male speaker and for a female speaker. אפשר בבקשה לקבל? איפה השירותים? Where's the restroom? איפה השירותים? Where's the restroom? שירותים is restroom. איפה השירותים? Another one to memorize. אני מצטער. I am sorry. אני מצטער. Or for a female speaker, אני מצטערת. אני מצטערת להפריע. I'm sorry to interrupt. כן. Yes. You can use it in any way you use yes. Yeah, use it. Be positive. לא. No. I like this word. It has a fun sound, and it was my sister's first word. לא. No. בא לי. I feel like. בא לי. It's two words. בא לי. And it means I feel like, I want. And you can also use it as a negative. בא לי גלידה. I feel like ice cream. I want ice cream. לא בא לי ללכת לבית הספר. I don't feel like going to school. So it's very useful. Children use it a lot, but grown-ups use it too. די. Enough. Stop. It sounds really bad, but it's harmless. It means enough or stop. When someone is like bugging you, poking you, like, די. Stop it. Enough. Yeah. כמה זה עולה? How much is it? כמה זה עולה? How much is it? How much does it cost? מעולה. Awesome. Great. I guess maybe the Hebrew equivalent of the word awesome, it's מעולה. The masculine form is מעולה and the feminine is מעולה. Like, ההופעה הזאת מעולה. This show is awesome. It's great. איך היה הטיול? היה מעולה. How was the trip? It was מעולה. Great, awesome.
Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Hebrew. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Edith.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Hebrew pronunciation. Pronunciation refers to the manner in which a word is spoken, so don't focus on reading what's on screen. Instead, focus on listening and repeating. In Hebrew, there are only 22 letters of the alphabet, and technically they're all consonants.
There are also vowel sounds which are shown by the dot system called nikud.
Many of the sounds are similar to English, like b, v, sh, s, and t.
B, v, sh, s, t.
But there are a few sounds you may not recognize at first.
Like ch, ts.
In Hebrew, words are stressed differently than in English. Stress is usually on the last syllable of the word.
Avoda, motzetz, mitlabesh.
But in some cases, the stress is on the second to last syllable of the word.
לקוח, נוסע, מתלבשת.
Letters produce consonant sounds. These sounds are combined with vowel sounds indicated by the nikud. Vowel sounds you find in Hebrew are all found in English as well.
A, e, I, o, u.
There are different notations for these vowels, but in most cases, the basic vowel sound stays the same. The pattern of the word and the placement of the vowel determines which vowel symbol will be used.
For example, the word for language, lashon, and the word for crisis, mashber, both have a vowels after the first letter. But because of the way the word is constructed, the vowels are notated differently.
Some letters have two sounds, depending on if there's a stress on the consonant or not.
Bet is both b and v. Kaf is both k and ch. Pei is both p and f.
There is also one other letter that changes sound according to the dot above it.
That's shin and sin. It makes the sh sound when the dot is on the right, and the s sound when the dot is on the left.
The most daunting group of letters are the guttural letters.
A, h, ch, a, r.
3 of these letters are pronounced deep in the throat. These may feel unusual at first, but are fun to say once you get the hang of them.
Ein, chet, resh.
Most of the sounds in Hebrew are already sounds you use in English. That means that if you were to simply imitate a Hebrew speaker, your pronunciation would be correct a lot of the time. For example, listen and repeat after Edith.
Rakevet, rakevet.
Chances are your pronunciation was pretty spot on. The K, V, and T sounds are practically identical to English. It's only the R that's a little different. Focus on this first letter. It's often written as an R, but don't be fooled. This letter is pronounced differently than an English R. It's pronounced at the back of the throat instead of forward in the mouth. Listen to Edith say this letter.
R, r.
It's actually closer to the German or French R, but without the roll. Nearly all sounds in Hebrew are identical to English, like the K, V, and T sounds in this example. Since you already know how to pronounce most of these sounds, we only need to pay attention to the handful of sounds that are completely new to you. They're the ones we need to look out for. In the previous lesson, we taught you how to say thank you in Hebrew. Do you remember what it was? It's
Toda.
well done. Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that Hebrew has 22 letters, but even more sounds. The extra sounds come from the vowels and the consonants that can represent 2 sounds instead of 1. Many of the sounds in Hebrew are identical to the sounds in English, and there are only a handful of new sounds that you need to learn. We've covered only the basics of Hebrew pronunciation. If you're interested in learning more, check out our Ultimate Guide to Hebrew Pronunciation. In that video series, we teach you how to pronounce every single sound used in Hebrew. Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1, surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2, learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3, speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4, practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better.
In this lesson, we learn some of the most common greetings used in Israel. אתם מוכנים? Are you ready? אז בואו נתחיל. So let's start. The most used greeting is Shalom. Shalom. We also saw it in the first lesson. Shalom simply means hi or hello. It can also mean goodbye. We use it when we meet, but also can use it when we part. Shalom means something like peace, so it makes the greeting very special. It is common to say shalom in both informal and formal situations, and at any time of the day. In the morning, you can also greet people with Boker Tov. Boker Tov, which means good morning. Boker is morning, and Tov is good. During the evening, we also say Erev Tov. Erev Tov. Erev is Hebrew for evening, so Erev Tov means good evening. Boker Tov and Erev Tov are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we don't say them again. Another way to say goodbye in Hebrew is lehitraot. Le-hit-ra-ot. It is actually more common to use lehitraot than shalom when leaving. But most people in Israel just say bye. Bye! Now you can greet people in many different ways in Hebrew. Let's review them all again. When meeting people in formal and informal situations, shalom. In the morning until the afternoon we say boker tov, and in the evening erev tov. When living in any situation, lehitraot, or simply bye. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Yana's insights. In formal situations, Israeli people commonly greet each other by shaking hands. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we kiss each other on one cheek. Don't be afraid to do it with your Israeli friends. It's normal.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why?
By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the dialogue study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. Want to finally learn Hebrew the fast, fun, and easy way? In this video, I'll show you the top 10 ways to get started. So let's begin. Number 1, take your very first lesson. Access any audio or video lesson on HebrewPod101.com and just press the play button to get started. Don't have an account? Don't worry. Just go to the sign up page to create an account. It takes less than 30 seconds and it's free. We have thousands of audio and video lessons covering a variety of topics like grammar, pronunciation, listening, and reading. Just click on the play button on any lesson and start learning. Number 2, read along with the lesson. You can read along with the lesson notes or lesson transcript. These come with every lesson. The lesson notes provide you with the dialogue for the scene taught in the lesson, along with translations, a more in-depth explanation of the grammar and culture, and even vocab and sample sentences. The lesson transcript is the full word-for-word transcript of everything you hear in the lesson. And the dialogue study tool provides you with the audio for the lesson dialogue, along with the translations. Number 3, shadowing. Shadowing is a tested learning technique where you repeat what you hear. This is a great way to start speaking in minutes and practice speaking in general. If you're listening along with the lesson audio or dialogue, be sure to shadow along the way. Number 4, use the dialogue study tool to master the conversation. Here, you get the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation demonstrated in the lesson. Listen and repeat until you've mastered each line. Do this until you've mastered the entire conversation. Number 5, use the voice recorder to perfect your pronunciation and speaking. In the dialogue study tool, you'll find a microphone icon next to each line. Click on it to record your voice. Then, compare it with the native speakers. Listen and adjust your pronunciation until you match that of the native speaker. Number 6, review vocab with the lesson vocabulary list. Vocabulary words are the building blocks of language. You can save vocab words taught in each lesson by clicking on Add to Word Bank. Want to drill the words with smart flashcards instead? Just click on Add to Flashcard Deck to do so. Number 7. Listen to the review track. If you've studied an audio lesson before, just listen to the review track so that you don't have to listen through the entire lesson again. This is a great way to reinforce the material that you've learned, and it's great to have on the go. Just access any audio lesson and click on the download icon. Then click Review to download the review track. Number 8. Review with quizzes after the lesson. Once you're confident enough with the material taught in the lesson, be sure to take the quiz to test your newfound knowledge. Take the review questions and answer true or false for each one. Or take the writing questions and input your answer. Remember to check the answers by clicking on the Check Answers button. Number 9. Participate and leave a comment. The best way to master what you've learned is to use it. Join the community of learners by leaving a comment below at the end of every lesson. Our dedicated teachers will check your responses to correct you on any mistakes or provide you with helpful study tips and advice. And finally, number 10, move on to the next lesson. Done with a lesson? Mark the lesson as complete. You can see your overall learning progress on your dashboard. If you particularly enjoyed the lesson, mark the lesson as favorite so that you can come back to it later at any time. Click on the forward arrow to move on to the next lesson and continue learning. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn Hebrew, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. Remember, you can sign up to HebrewPod101.com by clicking on the link in the description. Sign up takes less than 30 seconds, and it's free. I'll see you next time. Bye!